His family don't know Liam is sitting on more money than they could imagine, but they're there asking him for help because they're about to lose everything, still thinking that he's the same broke, failed son that they cut off years ago. And he lets them, because Liam will never forget what his father said the day they disowned him. The ultimatum was this: ditch his dream of starting a software company and take over the family business, or be cut off from the family. See, Liam had this vision for a logistics app that could change the game for small businesses. When he showed his business plan to his family, hoping for their blessing, his father just laughed, and his mother called him ungrateful. And when he didn't back down, the choice was made for him. He left with almost nothing. For a long time after that, his life was exactly what you would expect. He slept in his car, took whatever work he could find, and spent nights coding in libraries because he couldn't afford space anywhere else. There were moments where it all felt pointless, where the idea of building something successful felt completely out of reach. But he kept going anyway. Not because he was confident, but because failure wasn't an option. And while he was struggling to survive, his family stopped acknowledging him completely. No calls, no messages, no replies. He just didn't exist to them anymore. Then, 7 years later, things finally clicked into place for him. The software he built started gaining traction. It became something much bigger than he ever expected. By the time it was sold in a major deal, Liam was no longer the person who left home with a backpack and a few $100s. He had become a success story. Yet he still stayed completely out of his family's lives, until he got an email out of the blue from his mother, like nothing had happened. No apology, no acknowledgement of the years in between, just a warm message about reconnecting and an invitation to his sister's wedding. It seemed a bit off, but he agreed to go anyway because he missed his family and hoped maybe they did too. When he arrived, he intentionally didn't show off his new wealth. He drove an old car or simple clothes. Nothing about him screamed money. And the reaction was immediate. His father looked him up and down, let out a disappointed sigh as if nothing had changed at all. Still chasing that dumb computer fantasy, huh? That's what he said to him. The dinner that followed wasn't a reunion. It was a comparison to his sister's fiancé. Every detail was presented as proof that things had worked out the way they were supposed to. Liam, by contrast, was treated like someone who didn't matter. No one asked what he was doing with his life. They seemed to have no interest in whether he had succeeded or failed. Instead, little comments were made about how things could have worked out better for him if he had stayed with the family business. Then, a week later, the real reason they reached out became clear. His father called him, obviously stressed because the business was collapsing. But instead of asking for help, they framed it as a chance for him to be part of the family again, to fix what had been broken. To them, this was a way of seeing whether he could finally step up for the family that had given him a chance. His mother then jumped in to say they needed $200,000 just to stay afloat. They didn't ask if he had it. They were totally convinced he didn't. This was a loyalty test. They wanted him to sacrifice everything for the family that already made him do that once before. They don't know that he could clear all their debt instantly. He hasn't told them anything. Instead, he told them he would see what he can do, that he'd try to move things around. And now they're waiting. Liam isn't just deciding whether to help them financially or not. He's deciding whether they deserve to know who he actually became without them. And that's when this becomes more than just about money. It's about how someone is treated by the people that are supposed to support them when they have nothing. Like the whole "you have to live my life my way or you're cut off." I don't know if I could move past that, could you? Because this, again, feels like a catch-22, that he can only come back into the family dynamic if he joins the business. And I guarantee that their tune will change when they find out he has money. and he'll either become their golden child, or most likely they'll flip it on him again and call him selfish for not helping them, and then just carry on asking for money. Personally, I'd say that it's been great to be in touch again and he wants to rebuild that relationship, but he won't be joining the business, and then see what their reaction is before he decides whether to give them anything or not. Let me know what you would do in this situation in the comments. Thanks for watching this episode of Quietly Unhinged. If you enjoyed this story, there's another one waiting on screen right now. I'll see you there.